Hi guys, so this is my analysis on gold. If you watched my previous analysis on gold, you know I said I was expecting a bit. I think it was around this level right here, and I said I was expecting a push to the upside right here to my negative 27% fib level, which is the 2025, around that level, and that also aligns with an imbalance right here. There's a possibility we might get to that upside before we now continue to the downside, but as we can see, that was invalidated because my next target was around 2005. We can see that was invalidated, but that also still got to that negative 61.8 fib level before we start now rejecting of that level. So let me just delete the previous analysis I made because it didn't push up before going down to my direction. We just see it continue to just put down at the direction, and that is why they say you can't predict the market, you only react to the market. As long as we saw like there was a breakout structure around this area, we should have known that the buy we thought might be was already invalid, and now we are now on the down move because there was a breakout structure around that area. So that's what we are seeing right now. We can see here it's finished on my negative 61.8% fib level, so I will delete that right now and delete the price tag as well. So what are we seeing? I can see a breakout structure here, so I'm seeing a bit of a buy move around that area. There's a possibility because I can see and impose a test around that level, so I see a possible move of it pushing to the upside, maybe to that trend line, around that trend line right there. I see that happening, but you can know that overall I'm still on the downtrend. If I zoom in, an impulse, correction, continuation, an impulse, correction, continuation, and impulse, something like this before we now possibly get to my overall target, which is around that level. But it doesn't have to go like that exactly, we can just see how it's going. But because there was a breakout structure around this level, I see a possible move we can push the upside. If I use my fib to that level right here, I see a push to the upside because of that breakout structure. Yeah, so we're just gonna say if it will, if it comes down to at least this target right here. So I see it's pushing down a little bit more, maybe to this level right here, because there was a breakout structure at that level, it has retested, and that level also allowing my 78.6% fib level, or we can still push down to my 88.6 level. That's a possibility, but I see it pushing down to that place, the zone right here, before we now continue to the upside. That's a possibility. So as long as we are still above this previous low right here, there's a possibility that we might continue to push the upside, but I'm still more lenient on like a short buy move, and that was because of this break of structure right here before we now continue to the downside. But at least we should don't forget that the main direction right here is still the down move, and I can still see more of like it's buying too. And my reason is because we can see there was an impulse here, a correction, or more of a descending correction, and sometimes more of a descending correction just correct up to the 90% level right here before we might now continue to push to the downside like this. So, and we can see currently it's rejected of that 90 level, so we just have to be aware. But I will, so we just have to wait to see how it rejects off the Fibonacci levels. If we see a lot of weak rejection around that area, then I see a possibility that we might push to my upside right at that level right here. My target is always my negative 27 because I see it is a little bit more safer around that level before we now see what next. But we just have to wait to see what happens around that level to see. But if we see it breaking the structure, then we have to take it down to my next target, which is 1990 for the bearish move. for the bearish direction. That's why I see it, but for the bullish direction I see it to 2028, around that area. But like I said, I'm still leaning towards more of like a buy, just because we've been selling and it's rejecting up my negative 27%. So I possibly see more of like a full direction, which means an impulse, a correction, a continuation to the upside before we now continue to our overall direction, which is the downside. So like I said, I'm leaning towards more of this level right here before we now continue to push to the downside. That's a possibility that I'm seeing. But like I said, we can't predict the market, you only react to the market. But if we break through here, we see more breakthrough here, then there's a possibility that the direction has changed. We just have to wait and see how it goes. But as of right now, this is what I'm saying. So hope this is insightful, guys. Please don't forget to share, subscribe, and like, and I'll see you in my next analysis. Thank you.